What up? You got Cinco Smith at CincoSmith.com as well as WealthyRapper.com. Visit CincoSmith.com to stay connected with me at WealthyRapper.com to get access to a free blueprint on how you can implement strategies and things that I talk about in order to get wealthy as a rapper, even if you never get famous, even if you never get a record deal. In this video, I want to talk about the reaction to Jeezy song featuring Rick Ross, The Almighty Black Dollar. So hang on, and I'm gonna get right into it real quick. Good morning. You're tuned in to 5 a.m. Cinco Affirmation Music. 3. Look, I am a magnet. I am a money magnet. If I want it, I can have it. Imagination with some action, law of attraction. Now, with that being said, without further ado, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the song Almighty Black Dollar by Jeezy. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm all about uplift, empowerment, things that I have said in my music or verbally in the video content that I put out. It's all about uplift. It's all about empowering, whether it's economic empowerment or just mindset empowerment. Anything that I say, I like to uplift or at least challenge you to challenge yourself in terms of moving forward. So as I challenge myself and move forward and strive to do certain things, I like to teach what I'm learning as well as what it is that I'm doing. And in the song Almighty Black Dollar, I like the fact that it is at least taking people off of just being so materialistic and understanding the power that you possess if you're a part of the black, and I don't like to use the terminology black because I know we're indigenous to all lands, but if you're a part of the black community, then you got to understand the power of the almighty black dollar. And he hit on a couple of things that at least should move the needle. It's a lot of things out here that use music to the detriment of the listener. So you got to be careful what you listen to. So if it's something that can empower you, then take heed to the words that are being said, pay attention to the key notes, and implement if you know how. So I'm gonna just hit on a couple of points real quick and also link some things below that can get you in the direction of implementing some of the things that were mentioned, as well as just some things that can help you even if you're not paying no attention of how to go about hitting your goals, even if you never get a record deal like wealthyrapper.com. So I'll link that down below. Now, one of the first things that he said, and I got my little cheat sheet in front of me, is Fendi and Gucci is goofy. He said all that Fendi and Gucci is goofy. So what is he talking about? He's talking about people spending money on these high-end brands that have been popularized by, most of the time, rappers and artists and things of that nature. So these high-end brands supposed to portray a high level of quality, a high level of energy. And that may be the case for some people, but he's saying that it's goofy, meaning that it's not of your benefit. It doesn't increase you from a wealth standpoint, from an empowerment standpoint. And he even mentioned that a lot of times people go broke just to purchase those things, and you can't even tell that they went broke because many times you spend money on things that make you look rich, but it drains you economically. Now, if you put some money towards an asset that drains you from a monetary standpoint, but it has the ability to grow or appreciate or deliver some type of return on the investment, that's different. But when you're spending that on a brand just to look good and impress people who you might not even like that, then that is goofy. And that's exactly what he's talking about when he said all that Fendi and Gucci is goofy. He even mentioned something similar as it relates to Rolls Royce and Bentley. He said the Rolls Royce and Bentley ain't ish. And he said the real word, but I, just in case it's a kid listening, I'll just, leave it at that. He said all of that ain't ish. So people are still, yet again, buying certain brands. Don't get me wrong, they look nice, they look good, but if you bought it with your own money and not an asset, purchased it, it's a totally different story. However, if your assets paid for it and you got assets that are generating some form of income and you did it, okay, that's better than buying it the way some people plan to buy it, which is cashing it out or just digging a level of debt in order to obtain that thing. So it ain't ish as it relates to you owning the Bentley or the Rolls Royce if you didn't do it with an asset, if you didn't do it with being strategic in your journey, especially if you're just doing it just to look good or impress people who don't care. And he also said that those entities a lot of times need the black dollar. If you haven't heard about the art of selling a Negro, then you understand that the value that we bring to the table in terms of monetary and just being able to shop at certain brands is of high value, whether they put it out there or not. It's of high value to these brands. In many cases, brands, no matter what brand, what industry it's in, could not be a number one brand or a top brand without the almighty black dollar. And sometimes what it takes is for individuals to understand their greatness and what they bring to the table in order to get respect. Not that we're begging or seeking somebody else to respect us. It all starts with you respecting yourself. If you respect yourself as an artist, as a rapper, as whatever ethnicity that you are, then you can't, or you won't rely on somebody else to deem you as worthy, because you've already self-deemed yourself as worthy, because you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to the sound of my voice. That's that. He also said no credit, but he keep cash. Now, it's good to have cash. It's good to have something liquid. And by cash, I mean liquidity, because depending on when you're watching this video, cash may not even be in circulation like that. It might be all digital, depending on when you're watching this video, because I feel that we are going in the cashless direction. However, it is good to have some form of liquidity. But if you don't have credit, and I know Jeezy understands this, but if you don't have credit, sometimes you have to put all of your money in order to acquire certain assets, acquire certain things such as real estate. But if you have your money in, then you're not able to leverage or keep the liquidity that you once had. Because anytime you buy a property outright in cash, then you just reduce your liquidity due to the fact that you can't just go and get that up. Say you paid for a $100,000 property out of your own money, or $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is that you want to spend money on, and you pay for it in cash. Then that cash is no longer liquid, because you can't just, usually in most cases, just go out and sell it for what you pay for it, or more than what you pay for it. Now, in certain cases, it may make sense to do it depending on your net worth and what you're capable of. But in many cases, it's good to leverage credit, leverage other people's money, have your credit at a certain level that you're able to qualify to borrow a certain amount of money. And now the down payment that you pay on to be able to have ownership or control of a certain property is a lot lower, which allows you to get in the game for little to nothing. And then the goal of leveraging that credit is to get a return that's higher than whatever the monthly payment that you have as it relates to that loan you took out in order to acquire that property. Hope that makes sense. And what that does is, in many cases, if you had to pay $3,000 down on a $100,000 property, now your monthly payments may be $500, give or take. And if that asset or that property is paying you out more than that $500, now it's paying for itself. It's self-fulfilling. It's not like it came out of your pocket. You turned that loan into an asset that's now paying you some form of a return on your investment. So credit is definitely a key piece. I own a credit restoration company, so if you want access to me helping you restore your credit, or just some of the free resources, I'll link that down below as well. So understand the power in credit, how to leverage it, and not just solely think that you want to buy everything with cash. That's that. He said, I already mentioned that. He said a lot of times people buy these designer clothes and they can't even spell it. And they went broke trying to buy it, but you can't even tell it. So that's, that's deep on another level, but I already spoke on that. He also highlighted, group economics, basically shopping within your ethnicity. And there's nothing wrong with being pro whatever your ethnicity is. This is not a racist angle. He's just saying support your own if it's worthy of support. And in this case, he mentioned beverages. So he talked about Ciroc and Douce being owned by Puff and Jay. So he was just saying, look, economic empowerment, or basically spending within, group economics, powernomics, as Dr. Claude Anderson likes to call it, all shopping within. So he mentioned that as just something to kind of say, look, we got some of the products that you are chasing, but spend it within if you care to do so. Then Rick Ross came in and said some things, and I don't know who picked up, so I might be mixing up who said what. But Rick Ross said, if a bag, as it relates to a designer bag, or, certain brands or things of that nature, he said he'll rather buy a whole property for his daughter. What did he say specifically? Buy a whole city for his daughter. Buy a whole city for his daughter instead of buying this name brand thing. That's a whole nother level of thinking. You're like, look, I know they might want a bag that's favorable, but let me put a bag on this city so now they got ownership in it forever, or be able to use that and turn that into an asset that generates revenue and outlives him. That's thinking legacy. That's thinking long term. That's thinking from an angle of really wanting to build wealth and break the generational curse. Now, what else did I say? What else did he say? They talked about Black Wall Street. If you're not familiar with the story of Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in which it was a thriving economy. They were doing business with people all over the world, but it got burned down due to some hatred, due to them outdoing many of the other areas. So instead of supporting it or trying to learn what they did, they tore it down. They burned it down. They bombed it. They did certain things, which, is a whole nother conversation. But he mentioned that just to kind of enlighten people and let people know that we've done certain things, whether you know it or not. And sometimes it got destroyed, but he said it's time for the bounce back. And, I like that idea. So if you caught that nugget, then what are some things you can do in order to help build Black Wall Street back? It's all about entrepreneurship. It's all about empowering yourself to step into that journey of becoming wealthy and tapping into your creativity, your gifts, the things that you own. And that's what Wealthy Rapper is all about. So if you haven't already grabbed your free case study, visit wealthyrapper.com. Let's proceed. Last but not least, he said, said that. Okay, financial freedom. Okay, basically, he just said financial freedom exists within your own dollars. So you can take the money that you have, use that money in order to have your own level of financial freedom. And financial freedom is specific to you. The first level of financial freedom should be or could be just looking at all of the expenses that you have, whether that's $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, and seeing what you can put in place that pays that somewhat passively. And that can happen a couple of different ways. You can invest your way to doing it. You can buy real estate to do it. You can build a business that's paying you that amount that covers all of your monthly expenses. That could be a business that you build yourself, like you're selling products and services. That could also be, and if it's done passively, it makes it a little more freeing because it's something that you can somewhat expect. Of course, you got to manage it, monitor it, and things of that nature. But if you build it into something form of passive income that you're receiving monthly deposits from, it just makes it that much more freeing. Another way is network marketing. A lot of people shun network marketing, but that honestly is what allowed me to leave my job and create a full-time income using network marketing. So it's power in that as well. And I got a link I'll put below that's talking about how you can make weekly money, but truly it is an angle that you can take in order to build financial freedom. So I'll link a couple of things down below that I feel could be of benefit, even a book, certain books that you can grab, but definitely grab wealthyrapper.com, because Wealthy Rapper is you taking your artist, your expertise, and being able to make money along the way, even if you never get a record deal. So many people chase a deal or chase being famous, but in actuality, on your way to that fame or level of achievement that you feel you want to accomplish, you missed out on certain things that could have helped you build wealth. And I understood that later, but now that I know, I want to implement, take action on things that I didn't take action on, but also teach it. So that's what I spend a lot of my time on: economic empowerment, helping people restore their credit, and just really trying to break the generational curse, because I didn't come from money and I didn't come from a wealthy family. So what that means is that a wealthy family must come from me. So that's all I got. Hope you like the song. Hope you got the nuggets, and hope you implement certain things that are in the song that you can implement. Do what you can, and do all you can, and all you can do is enough, just as long as you're doing something. So that's all I got. See you on the next video. Cinco Smith signing out. Salute. I am a magnet. I am a money magnet. If I want it, I can have it. Imagination with some action. Law of attraction. I attract positive people, and positive people somehow be attracted to me. But I feed off of negative energy. Negative energy give me the power I need. Peace. You were never born to be mediocre. Worldwide well, tell me why you thinking local. You're a greatness in the making. Amazing grace. Somebody bringing the vocals. Look, you were never born to settle when the world needs you right now more than ever. Just know that I'm God sent, bringing knowledge and high spit. Somebody better go warn the devil. Hello.